Warren Buffett's advice for the Americans before retirement. Did you know that 78% of Americans worry they won't have enough money to retire comfortably? That's not just a statistic. It's a genuine fear keeping millions awake at night. And with the average 65-year-old having less than $200,000 saved, it's a fear based in reality. But here's what most financial advisors won't tell you. Building a secure retirement doesn't require complex strategies or getting lucky with risky investments. Warren Buffett, one of history's greatest investors, believes everyday Americans can achieve financial freedom by following simple, proven principles that anyone can understand. The truth is, many people make retirement planning far more complicated than it needs to be. While financial media pushes the latest investment trends and complicated products, Buffett has built his $100+ billion fortune using straightforward strategies that go against much of this conventional wisdom. In today's video, I'll reveal 7 powerful pieces of retirement advice from Warren Buffett himself. These insights have helped countless Americans transform their financial futures, even when starting later in life or with modest incomes. Stay until the end for Buffett's most crucial investing secret, one that directly contradicts what most financial advisors recommend but could make the difference between a stressful retirement and a truly secure one. Where do you stand on your retirement journey? Type concerned or confident in the comment below to let me know how you're feeling about your financial future. Let me share with you the first piece of wisdom from Warren Buffett that could completely transform your retirement outlook, regardless of where you stand today. Start early and harness the power of compound interest. Compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world, Buffett often reminds us. He started investing at just 11 years old and has repeatedly said that his biggest financial advantage wasn't exceptional stock picking. It was time. Here's a truth that most financial advisors don't emphasize enough. Time is far more powerful than the amount you start with. A 25-year-old investing $300 monthly will likely have more money at retirement than someone who starts at 45 with $1,000 monthly, despite investing less than half the total amount. This is an opinion. It's mathematical certainty due to the exponential growth of compound interest. Consider Buffett's own story. He purchased his first stock at age 11, became a millionaire by 30, but didn't become a billionaire until he was 56. Today, at over 90 years old, he's worth over $100 billion. The fascinating part? About 99% of his wealth came after his 50th birthday. Not because he suddenly became smarter, but because compound interest accelerated dramatically after decades of consistent investing. The solution is refreshingly simple. Start immediately with whatever amount you can. Even if retirement seems far away or you feel you've started late, the best time to plant your financial tree is today. Automate your investments through your employer's 401k or an IRA, focusing on consistent contributions rather than the perfect investment strategy. Remember Buffett's advice. Do not save what is left after spending. Spend what is left after saving. Now, once you've committed to investing regularly, Buffett's second piece of advice will help ensure you're not just investing, but investing wisely. Invest in what you understand. Never invest in a business you cannot understand. Buffett has repeatedly warned. This principle, which he calls staying within your circle of competence, has helped him avoid countless investment disasters while concentrating on opportunities he could evaluate effectively. The uncomfortable truth is that investing in businesses or financial products you don't truly understand isn't investing at all. It's gambling. When markets become volatile or challenging news emerges, you'll have no foundational knowledge to determine whether to hold steady or make changes. This uncertainty often leads to emotionally driven decisions at precisely the wrong moments. Take Buffett's approach during the dot-com bubble of the late 1990s. While technology stocks were soaring and investors were piling in, Buffett largely stayed away. Critics called him outdated and claimed he didn't get the internet revolution. When the bubble burst in 2000, countless investors were devastated, while Berkshire Hathaway remained stable. His explanation was simple: I don't invest in things I don't understand. The practical solution isn't becoming an investment expert overnight, but building knowledge systematically. Start with businesses you interact with daily and understand intuitively, companies whose products or services you use and appreciate. If you shop at Costco regularly and admire their business model, You already understand more about them than a random stock recommendation. As your knowledge grows, your circle of competence naturally expands. For many approaching retirement, this principle might mean focusing on established companies with straightforward business models and long histories of paying dividends rather than speculative investments that promise huge returns but operate in ways you can't explain. This principle of understanding leads perfectly to Buffett's third crucial piece of retirement advice, one that could literally save you hundreds of thousands of dollars over your investing lifetime. Avoid unnecessary fees. Despite being one of the world's wealthiest individuals, Buffett maintains a frugality that extends to his investment approach. Keep costs low, he repeatedly advises investors. The investor today does not profit from yesterday's growth. Here's the shocking reality most investment advisors won't emphasize. High investment fees can devour a third or more of your potential retirement savings over time. A seemingly small difference, say 1% in annual fees, can reduce your final retirement balance by hundreds of thousands of dollars over a 30-year period due to the compound effect of those fees. Buffett demonstrated his conviction about low-cost investing by making a famous $1 million bet that a simple S&P 500 index fund would outperform selection of hedge funds over a 10-year period. He won decisively, with the index fund returning 125.8% compared to the hedge fund's average of just 36.3%. The lesson was clear. Fancy, expensive investment strategies often underperform simple, low-cost approaches. The solution is refreshingly straightforward. Prioritize low-cost index funds and ETFs for the core of your retirement portfolio. These provide broad market exposure with minimal expenses, often charging less than 0.1% annually compared to the 1 to 2% for actively managed funds. As Buffett told his own trustee regarding instructions for his wife's inheritance, put 10% of the cash in short-term government bonds and 90% in a very low-cost S&P 500 index fund. Do you know what investment fees you're paying right now? Type fees matter in the comments if you'd like to learn exactly how to audit your current investments for hidden costs that might be silently eroding your retirement savings. Now, let's examine Buffett's fourth piece of retirement wisdom, one that might save you from a mistake that destroys countless retirement portfolios. Don't try to time the market. Forecasts may tell you a great deal about the forecaster. They tell you nothing about the future. Buffett has wryly observed. Yet millions of Americans spend countless hours watching financial news, reading market predictions, and trying to guess the perfect moments to buy or sell. The uncomfortable truth is that nobody, not financial experts, not economists, not Warren Buffett himself, can consistently predict short-term market movements. A comprehensive study by CXO Advisory Group tracks 6,582 market predictions made by 68 financial gurus over many years. The result? Their accuracy was just 47%, worse than flipping a coin. Even the most successful forecasters barely exceeded 60% accuracy, not nearly enough to overcome the costs and missed opportunities from frequent trading. Consider what happened to many retirement investors during the March 2020 COVID market crash. Those who panicked and sold when the S&P 500 dropped 34% locked in their losses permanently. Meanwhile, those who stayed invested saw their portfolios fully recover by August that same year and go on substantial gains. The market's best days often come immediately after its worst, making timing an impossible task. Buffett's approach is refreshingly simple. Invest regularly regardless of market conditions. We simply attempt to be fearful when others are greedy, and to be greedy only when others are fearful, he explains. Rather than try and predict market movements, he focuses on buying quality investments at reasonable prices and holding them for the long term. For retirement investors, this translates to a strategy called dollar cost averaging, investing a fixed amount at regular intervals regardless of market conditions. This naturally buys more shares when prices are low and fewer when they're high, without requiring any market predictions. Combine this with automatic contributions to your 401k or IRA, and you'll be implementing Buffett's wisdom without any need to follow daily market news. This steady approach to building wealth connects directly to Buffett's fifth piece of retirement advice, one that's especially crucial for those looking ahead to their post-working years. Build multiple income streams. Never depend on a single income. Buffett advises, despite not being widely quoted on a specific topic. Make investments to create a second source. This principle underlies much of his investment strategy and becomes increasingly important as retirement approaches. The harsh reality is that relying solely on Social Security or even a single pension plan is increasingly risky in today's economic environment. Social Security replaces only about 40% of the average worker's pre-retirement income, while financial experts suggest most people need 70 to 80% to maintain their lifestyle. This gap must be filled through additional income sources. Warren Buffett has built Berkshire Hathaway into a cash-generating machine, collecting over $4.6 billion in dividends annually from investments in companies like Apple, Bank of America, and Coca-Cola. These dividend payments provide steady income regardless of stock price fluctuations, a perfect model for retirement planning. For the average American approaching retirement, creating multiple income streams might mean developing a portfolio of dividend-paying stocks, rental properties, bonds, annuities, or even a small business. Each stream provides financial security that doesn't depend entirely on market conditions or government programs. The practical solution is to gradually shift from focusing solely on asset growth to creating reliable income. Start by allocating a portion of your portfolio to dividend-paying stocks with long histories of steady or increasing payments. Companies like Johnson & Johnson, Procter & Gamble, and 3M have increased their dividends annually for over 50 consecutive years, providing growing income streams regardless of market fluctuations. Additionally, consider whether rental real estate, bonds, or part-time consulting work might fit your retirement plans. Each additional income source reduces your vulnerability to any single economic factor. As you build these income streams, Buffett's sixth piece of advice becomes crucial for ensuring you can fully enjoy the fruits of your planning. Reduce and manage debt effectively. If you buy things you don't need, you will soon sell things you need. Buffett has cautioned. This wisdom becomes especially critical as retirement approaches, when income typically decreases, while financial security becomes more important than ever. The uncomfortable reality is that carrying significant debt into retirement can destroy even the most carefully constructed financial plans. A 2023 study from the Employee Benefit Research Institute found that households with debt payments exceeding 40% of their income were 3 times more likely to run out of money in retirement. Yet approximately 70% of Americans aged 65 to 79 still carry some form of debt, with mortgage and credit card debt being the most common. Buffett's approach to debt at Berkshire Hathaway offers valuable lessons. Despite having capacity to borrow enormous sums, he maintains minimal debt across his businesses. During the 2008 financial crisis, when many companies were crippled by their debt obligations, Berkshire's low leverage gave Buffett the flexibility to make opportunistic investments, while others struggled to survive. The practical solution is creating a debt elimination timeline that clears major obligations before retirement. Start by targeting high-interest debts like credit cards, using either the avalanche method, focusing on the highest interest rates first, or the snowball method, paying off the smallest balances first for psychological wins. For mortgages, consider whether making additional payments toward principal or refinancing to a shorter term might help you enter retirement debt-free. For those already near retirement with significant debt, consider whether delaying retirement slightly, downsizing your home, or working part-time might help strengthen your position. Remember Buffett's perspective that true financial freedom comes not for what you own, but what you don't owe. Have you created a plan to enter retirement debt-free? Type debt-free retirement in the comments if this is a goal you're working toward. I'd love to share specific strategies for accelerating your journey to financial freedom. The seventh and perhaps most profound piece of Buffett's retirement wisdom focuses on something money can't directly buy, but without which money has little value. Invest in your health and happiness. The only thing that makes sense is to strive for greater collective enlightenment. Buffett has said, emphasizing that happiness comes from more than just financial success. Despite his enormous wealth, Buffett maintains a remarkably simple lifestyle, focused on what truly brings him joy. Here's a truth that's easy to overlook when focusing on retirement numbers. Without your health and relationships, no amount of money can provide a truly satisfying retirement. A landmark study from Harvard tracked participants for over 80 years and concluded that close relationships were the strongest predictor of happiness and well-being throughout life. stronger even than wealth or fame. Buffett himself demonstrates his wisdom through his lifestyle choices. Despite being able to afford anything, he has lived in the same modest Omaha home since 1958, eats at local restaurants rather than exclusive clubs, and prioritizes time with family and trusted friends. He often says, "I measure success by how many people love me, not by his bank account." The solution requires balancing financial preparation with investments in physical, mental, and social well-being. Practical steps include building regular exercise into your routine. It's never too late to start. Cultivating meaningful relationships and exploring activities that provide purpose beyond work. Many successful retirees recommend practicing retirement well before you leave the workforce, developing hobbies, volunteering, strengthening community connections, and discover what truly brings you fulfillment. These non-financial investments often yield the highest returns during retirement years. As Buffett wisely notes, the difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. In retirement planning, this means focusing your time and energy on what truly matters to you, not what others expect. Now that we've explored Buffett's essential wisdom for retirement preparation, let's talk about how to weave these principles together into a comprehensive strategy that works for your unique situation. We've now explored Warren Buffett's 7 essential pieces of retirement wisdom. Start early with compound interest. Invest in what you understand. Avoid unnecessary fees. Don't try to time the market. Build multiple income streams. Manage debt effectively and invest in your health and happiness. These aren't complicated strategies, but they're incredibly powerful when applied consistently over time. The question now isn't whether these principles work. Buffett's extraordinary success proves they do. The real question is, which one will you implement today? Even if retirement seems distant or you feel behind, remember that the Oracle of Omaha himself made 99% of his wealth after age 50. It's never too late to make smarter financial decisions. Take one action this week based on what you've learned. Maybe automate your investments to harness compound interest, review your portfolio for excessive fees, or create a debt reduction plan. Small steps today can transform your financial future tomorrow. Comment Buffett Wisdom below if one of these principles resonated with you, and share which one you're committed to implementing. I read every comment and would love to hear which strategy you found most valuable. In our next video, I'll share Buffett's ideal retirement portfolio, the specific types of investments he recommends for generating reliable income without taking unnecessary risks in your retirement years. As Buffett wisely said, someone's sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree long ago. Your future self will thank you for the financial seeds you plant today, no matter where you're starting from. With these timeless principles as your guide, a secure and comfortable retirement isn't just possible, it's within your reach.